have our Director of School Counseling, Ms. Kelly Hodgman-Burns. So they're going to share with you some of the wonderful things about Thornton Academy and why Thornton Academy can help you be who you are and become who you want to be. We also have one of our current students, Jung Jae from South Korea, and Jung Jae is going to share a little bit about his experience here at Thornton Academy and what that has done for him. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we've got a presentation that we will share with you. Oops. All right, so yeah, so welcome. You can see here we've got our 4 pillars, and yeah, I think we are all ready to get started. I do just want to say a couple quick things before we get started, and that is that at the bottom of your screen, you will see that there's a chat box and a question and answer Q&A box. We ask that you ask any questions through the Q&A box. So if at any point during the presentation you have a question, just feel free to type it in to that Q&A box, and we will answer it at the end of the presentation. There is plenty of time for question and answer, and if you already submitted a question, we do have that ready to go. The other thing is that I want to address is, I guess, really 2 things, is Thornton Academy has, like the rest of the world, has been dealing with the cases of COVID-19 that have been affecting the global community. For this presentation, we are really looking towards next year, so we will be talking about things like in a more sort of normal sense, but if you do have any questions pertaining specifically to our response to COVID-19, feel free to type those into the Q&A box. Similarly, we know that there was a big presidential election that happened yesterday. We are really looking again towards next year, so we won't really be going into that at all, but we thank you for joining us here this evening. So, without further ado, I am going to introduce our Director of Enrollment, Mr. Clint Williams. So feel free to unmute yourself, Clint, and introduce yourself.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. It's my pleasure to spend some time with you this evening, our evening time, and talk to you about Thornton Academy, and it's a pleasure to be able to do so. I'm going to talk through a few interesting facts and points of reference for you. I won't read everything that you see on the screen, but I'll address a few of the quick facts, if you will. I think one of the things that I would like to highlight immediately is Maine is actually rated the #1 safest state in all of the United States. And that's not speaking about the COVID situation. It's speaking about all things that are considered, that make a state safe. And so we're proud of that fact. Again, some interesting facts that I believe are important are 72% of our faculty have advanced degrees. We have a long history, founded in 1811. We have many courses offered here at Thornton Academy. And as you can see here, 26 advanced placement courses that are available as well. And, you know, oftentimes when we talk about that, we're communicating with other schools, and they often say, wow, that's a lot of classes. That's a lot of AP classes. And our community really values that. And our community is made up of 1,600 total students, grades 6 through 12, boys and girls. So it's a large number of students, but as Kelly has said in some videos in the past, it seems big, but it doesn't feel very big. And the reason why is because we're spread out in a very sort of college environment with different buildings and different locations, and class sizes aren't immense. So it feels much smaller than it really is. And where is Thornton Academy? Thornton Academy is located in a very scenic coastal town in Saco, Maine. And many of you know, obviously, where Saco, Maine is, for you local folks tuning in tonight. For those of you that don't, you know, Maine is considered vacation land. And to be in the state of Maine, the #1 safest state, 15 minutes from a very nice port city of Portland, Maine, and only 90 minutes from the historical famous city of Boston, Massachusetts. it's a great place to live, work, and go to school. Um, what an opportunity to be here and access all the different things that we have available to us in a drop of a hat. And for international folks, it's very easy to access us with Portland International Airport, again, 15 minutes, or Boston, just 90 minutes away. So what is our campus like? This gives you a snapshot. Again, it's a feel of a type of community college, or a small college, if you will. We have newly renovated library, state-of-the-art arts and new media center, television studios, a 500-seat theater, engineering labs, and we have a full turf athletic stadium that we can access often, even in inclement weather. So it's a beautiful campus, and it's nestled right into the scenic town of Saco, Maine. Again, a quick overview of our academics. I touched on a few of those earlier, but again, 200 classes, upper school classes, 26 AP courses, 7 foreign languages, which is very unique, and 40 honors courses. And for international folks, we have multiple levels, 4 levels of English language learning. And clearly you can see a couple of the picks in some of our academic areas. And below those picks, you will see some very interesting classes that might not be available at other opportunities. Trees in the Maine forest, marine biology, just to name a couple, movie making, digital imaging, finance. I mean, there are some really unique courses that kids take advantage of and really enjoy here. I do want to touch on Thornton Academy Middle School, TAMS. TAMS is a fully private middle school with about 220 total students, grades 6 through 8. And the majority of our students are local day students that take advantage of what TAMS has to offer. However, we do have international students that are attending Thornton Academy Middle School. And 100% of the school and the folks there are completely Apple certified. And I do wanted to mention that by saying that as well, the upper school, Thornton Academy as a whole, is Apple distinguished. And I guess that accolade is pretty hard to come by. Not only do we use the Apple products, and every student on our campus has an Apple iPad that we provide for them, but our faculty and staff know how to use that technology in a very proactive way. Kids aren't just playing games and messing around. Kids are accessing outstanding technology with outstanding instruction to use that technology to its full potential. So one of our signature programs, among many, frankly, is our Visual and Performing Arts program. There are 34 different art courses available. Again, a 500-seat theater and a 4-year dance program. Thornton Academy is very, very well known in this part of the area in Maine, in Portland, Maine. And folks, we have, I think, over 74 different performances during the course of one full year. That's a lot of performances, and our community really, really enjoys that. And frankly, we sell out often with our theatrical performances as well. And as you can see, there's a plethora of different opportunities under the pictures that you can see. It's absolutely an amazing opportunity for kids that love visual and the performing arts. Athletics, simply put, we are in the top 1% of high school athletic success in the country. Basically, that means our varsity sports are very, very successful. And, you know, we have 57 different total different athletic teams that our kids participate in. And as you can see, 72% of our total student body is participating in sports at some level or another. And over the years, we've won a bunch of state championships, both male and female sports, ranging from golf, football, as well, lacrosse, field hockey, soccer. We aren't necessarily a sports school, but we love sports. Our kids participate in sports, and we're very successful in them as well. For those folks from abroad, our boarding life is robust. We have 180 students, give or take, year in and year out, who live on campus. 52 countries represented in our dormitories. And they live in residential halls that are very, very nice, modern, with families who live on campus, in the dorms with them. And as you can see some of the pics, they are very nice rooms, very nice dorms, and common areas. I mean, obviously Wi-Fi available all the time, nurse on staff all the time. It's just an outstanding opportunity. Jung Jae can speak to that maybe when he speaks, but we do a lot of weekend activities with our kids in the residential halls, and we provide them with a lot of different support and encouragement opportunities as well. Well, thank you very much. That was a quick introduction. I would like now to introduce Miss Kelly Hodgman Burns, our Director of School Counseling.
Sorry, unlike what Clint just said, I'm probably one of the faculty members that has had to really learn the technology. So apologies for being muted there. I just want to speak to you a little bit about our school counseling program. As Clint outlined, there are many classes. There's a lot to Thornton Academy, and it can be daunting to try to figure out how to navigate through that. And that's where my department comes in. Our objectives really as a department is to enhance the learning process for all of our students. Clint spoke to the fact that we have 1,600 students. A little over 200 are at the middle school, which means that we have hovering right now at 1,400 students at the upper school. And we work very hard to make our school feel small. And one of the things that we do in my department is to create a ratio that provides individualized support. So the counselors in my department really challenge and support. They advocate and reflect with students in equal parts. And it's my expectation of them that they take that approach with all the students that come to us, whether they're from Brazil or Beijing or Scarborough or Saco, Maine. It's important across the board. When we think about high school and the upper school, and I know that there might be some folks here that are interested in the middle school, but really we're looking at the transition from childhood to adulthood. So the 4 years of high school really is that transition. And as students come into Thornton Academy, our central questions as counselors are, who are they now? Who is the student now as they come to us? And with that, what do they do well? And where will they go after graduation? So really, we want to know who they are and who you are and who you want to become when you leave. So within that framework, this is more of the 3 spheres that we think about in a school counseling department. And so, as Clint mentioned, we have over 200 courses. And again, not just the physical space do we have to navigate, but we have to navigate the academic space. What does that look like? What's appropriate? How do students develop and move through our academic programming? So that's one of the spheres that we work with. Another one of the spheres that we consider is career and post-secondary planning. So even those students that come to us in 6th grade, we begin to think about what they're going to do as they leave high school. It's wonderful to be at TA and to have that experience here. The hope is that that experience while a student is at Thornton Academy is going to result in something after Thornton Academy. And we also work towards social and emotional development and support. And those three spheres work in conjunction with each other. So anytime a student comes into the school counseling office, it's my expectation that school counselors are looking at those three spheres. And at any given time, one of them may be larger than another, depending on what's happening on that day, in that moment, in that academic school year. So it's really what drives our department and how we think about every student and the entire four-year experience at TA. We have a school counseling center, and really, as you consider, and hopefully your students become your children become one of our students, think about the school counselor that your child is assigned to as a really good place to start with questions. Like I said, there are a lot of facets to school, and it's my expectation and the counselor's expectation to really help that child and that family navigate the experience at TA. A student is assigned to a counselor for their entire time at Thornton Academy. So currently, the class of 2021 and 2023 have one of the three counselors that I've listed there, Mr. DeFrancesco, Ms. Wallace, and Mrs. Tibbetts. And the class of 2022 and 24 have one of the three counselors, Ms. Ramsey, Mr. Kamari, and Ms. Moore. I also have a caseload, and I have another school counselor, Ms. Serrano, who works almost exclusively, but not totally, with international students. Among all 8 of us, we have over a century's worth of school counseling experience. Think of counselors as, school counselors as trained counselors with a concentration in schools. So it's very holistic. And it's really up to us and our focus to promote the well-being of the young people that are in our school environment. We're holistic in nature, and so that means that we are looking at the whole student, the whole child as they progress through their educational experience. So we might have students that come to us with issues, celebrations. We work with them towards their post-secondary planning, thinking about issues or things that are happening within the classes. We work with them to develop a rigorous curriculum that help them meet those goals. The work that we do is preventative and reactive. So we think of our work with students as about 80% planned time. We meet with them, we get to know the children that come to us at TA, and we also are responsive, meaning if there's something that comes up, it's up to us to respond to that. And we might not have all the answers, but we certainly will walk through families or situations with families and students. Our focal points for each year, really they change over time. So if we think about the arc of the upper school as a 4-year experience, the 9th grade is really about high school success planning and transition. What was their life like, their school life, their educational life like before they came to TA? And how do we make that transition? It's not going to be seamless, it never is, but how do we ease that? In the 10th grade, it's really for students to consider their self and career exploration. What are they doing? What are they thinking about? What are the things that really get them jazzed about school? 11th grade is more exploratory with post-secondary options. For some students, that includes 4-year colleges. For some, it's 2-year colleges. For some, it's military, gap year, and the world of work. And then the 12th grade focus really is really in earnest about post-secondary planning and transitioning out of the high school experience. All the counselors are affiliated with ASCA. ASCA is short for the American School Counseling Association, and we follow their articulated mindsets and guidelines. So that is the overarching association that we use to help guide our work. So our department really plays an active role in course selection. It's up to us to really assist parents and students. We know that there's a direct relationship between what students take in school with what their options are when they leave the upper school and high school in general, and TA specifically. It's really important that we recognize course selection that is student specific and based on what their interests are and what their abilities are. And we have a long lens as we help students choose courses. So in addition to that academic counseling, we offer a variety of services to assist in reaching their full potential. And it includes, my department organizes our standardized testing. So that includes PSAT every year. We have school-based SAT for juniors, so third-year students, all regardless of where they're coming from, if they're Maine residents or beyond. That's in April of the junior year. We provide post-secondary planning. It's very individualized, and that includes career exploration and financial aid counseling. And then we also provide social and emotional support, as I mentioned before, along that journey. And this is just some of our recent four-year college acceptances. Because we have a very diverse group of students here at Thornton Academy, our approach to college counseling is student-based and thorough and wide-ranging. And you can see from this list of colleges that, that there's a wide variety represented here. I didn't include some of our two-year community college options, which are in Maine, throughout New England, excuse me, allergies, I promise, and throughout the country. And then we do have students that go on to the military and into the world of work.
Okay, well, thank you, Kelly. That was really interesting. And I personally was struck by sort of the holistic and really thought out nature of what you guys do in the school counseling department, and how you really start with students in grade 9 and then work them through the whole high school progression with really a focus on like who they're going to become in the future. So yeah, I thought that was super interesting. So thank you for sharing that all with us. We are fortunate enough here to also have one of our wonderful students here with us this evening. So we have Jung Jae. Jung Jae is a member of the class of 2021, so this is his senior year. He is from South Korea. And Jung Jae, do you want to take a couple minutes and just introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, my name is Jung Jae, and this is my second year in Thornton Academy. I'm a senior this year, and I'm the student body vice president and leaders of 2 clubs, Inter Club and TEDx. I'm originally from Seoul, South Korea, and this is my 7th year in the United States.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Jung Jae. Well, that was really all we had for our presentation. So we just really want to remind you that at Thornton Academy, we truly believe, and the school counseling department is a fundamental part of this, that at Thornton Academy, you can be who you are and become who you want to be. So we've got a wide range of academic clubs and extracurricular activities and classes that encourage our students to be who they are while they are with us. And then like Ms. Kelly said, we really focus on the future. And so focus on helping students to become who they want to be in the future, because coming to Thornton Academy is just the first step to becoming that person that you're going to be for the rest of your life. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and we're going to open this up to questions. I know that there are a few questions that have come through. So I'm going to start by asking Jung Jae one question. So Jung Jae, while I'm reading the other questions that have come through, can you tell us a little bit about your favorite class at Thornton Academy?
Yeah, yeah. This is a hard question because I honestly love every classes in Thornton Academy, and all of the teachers are awesome. But if I need to choose one teachers and classes that I'm taking this year, I would say it's AP Physics 1 and 2, which Mr. Armoso is the teacher. It's an extremely hard classes in which we have exam almost every week and homework almost every day. But despite the level of classes, my teacher, Mr. Amoroso, is always willing to help students after school and or even the weekends. So yeah, I love physics. I took an honors physics last year, and yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Amoroso is really a great teacher. He's done a lot of things.
Mhm.
He was Teacher of the Year at Thornton Academy a few years ago. He teaches in our science department, physics, but he has also taught philosophy. Jungjae, you probably don't know that. That was a few years ago, but we used to, he used to teach a philosophy class. So it'd be awesome if we can bring that back. And that's something that you're going to find from both our students and our teachers at Thornton Academy is that they have a lot of different wide-ranging interests. So like Jungjae, they participate in a lot of different clubs, or like Mr. Amoroso, they teach physics and philosophy. Yeah, we like to do a lot of different things here. So Kelly, we have a question that's sort of directed towards you. This is about a student who is most likely going to be enrolling with us next year from Brazil. So we're very excited about that. And it sounds like she's chosen some classes that she probably wants to, that she's interested in. Can you talk us through a little bit about the scheduling process and how
Sure.
classes?
Absolutely. So, this is, there are two, I'll speak a little bit to the international student, but also the domestic students that come to us either as ninth graders or those that come to us from local areas. So because you're speaking of somebody from Brazil specifically, it's important for us to actually, it's great that does the student have a name? I don't know if I should speak directly. Okay. That she would have her experience in Brazil. We expect that we would see the transcripts from her previous experience, and that would be true also with domestic students. And so we would have a sense of what that student has taken. We also then would have, for an international student that we expect and we use, they have an English language test that they take when they arrive. And by test, I want to just demystify that a little bit. It's not scary. It's really intended to identify what that student's English level is. We have international students that require English language support, and that's really important. They are not solely in English ELL classes. They are in ELL classes and regular ed classes as they work through the curricular components and requirements. And then we also require our students that come to us to take a math placement exam. Once we have those two results, we then will sit with the student at the end of the summer. Hopefully, they've taken a look at our program of studies, have a sense of what we have to offer, and really begin to build that schedule with the student's interests. Every student can anticipate that they're going to have an English, a math, a science, and a social studies course. And then from those four, we have 4 other classes that we need to consider. Most students will have a study hall of some sort, an art, perhaps another language, and some of those other elective courses that Clint mentioned, which would be like our tech new media, other arts related courses. If somebody happens to be a history buff or a real science math powerhouse, there are other electives in those disciplines as well. So we reserve spaces knowing we anticipate that we're going to have students that are coming to us from away down the road, away from across the globe, and we build in spaces. It's really student specific, and it's driven not only by their interest but their aptitude. So it's a very specific to that student who may have goals of taking. Every year we have students that will come to us. I want to take 8 AP classes, and that might not be appropriate. It's really dependent on what that student has and brings with them as they come to TA.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I think that what you touched on there really, well, what you said there really touches on sort of the individual, relationship that the student will
Mhm.
have with the counselor. And I think that that's pretty remarkable given our school's size. You know, you don't
Yes.
always find that. And I think you guys do a really good job of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, good. So I'm going to throw another question out to Jung Jae. So everyone here, again, we've got people coming from local and across the globe, but everyone here is sort of choosing to come to Thornton Academy. So Jung Jae, you are at the same time from South Korea, but you also were in Colorado before coming to Thornton Academy. So can you talk us through a little bit about how you chose Thornton Academy and sort of what that means and why your reason or another reason would be good? How can someone help to make the decision to come to Thornton Academy?
Yeah, I came to the United States 7 years ago to try something new and to learn English. Over 5 years in the United States, before I came to Thornton Academy, I used to study in a small city in Colorado State. But in my old school, I was the only international student in the entire school. And so over 5 years, I only hung out with American students. And my family wanted me to open up and get along internationally, since knowing how to be open-minded and able to speak to everyone is important. And that's one of my biggest reasons I came to Thornton Academy, since Thornton Academy is such a huge and nice school with an international program, which usually have like 200 international students. I don't know about this year because of this COVID-19, but also when I heard about Thornton Academy, I was fascinated by AP and honor courses that the school offer. My old school only offered like maybe like 10 AP classes and no honors because it was so small school. But to be honest, I wasn't really interested in studying before I came here. But at the beginning of the junior year, when I came to Thornton Academy, I started to think about the better colleges and future. And seeing so many AP classes and honors helped me to choose like my colleges and lastly, like I said in the beginning, I love trying something new, which I was interested in clubs. In my old school, we only had like maybe two clubs, which it was such a small school. However, in Thornton Academy, they offer so many clubs, which I don't even know how many we have. As students, we are also allowed to make our own clubs, which I made one club last year before this pandemic. And I just had lots of opportunity in Thornton Academy, and
Great. All right, thank you. Yeah. And I think that that really sort of sums it up too, is that the Thorn Academy really offers our students a lot of opportunity. And I like that the way that Jung Jae put that, you know, whether it's academic classes, clubs, athletics, arts, just meeting people from around the world, you know, that it can be a really great place to just sort of get opportunity. A lot of people, when they come to our campus, say that we're kind of like a small university, and it does sort of have that feel where you can really explore a lot of different things as you start to become, you know, who you want to be. So Jung Jae, we actually have another question coming at you. So the question is the social life on the weekends. So I know we do a lot of activities. Things are a little bit different right now because of the pandemic, but maybe you can talk about some weekend activities that you do and have done and that are popular with the students.
last year we had lots of activities on the weekends. I mean, even this year, we still have lots of stuff going on the weekends. Before this pandemic, we went to Boston trips almost once a month, which was nice. But of course, we can't do that this year. But we still go to shopping mall almost every week after school on Friday. And we also went to New Hampshire to play paintball a couple of weeks ago. And almost every Sunday or Saturday, we go hiking in Lighthouse. Almost every week there is like we also have like a movie nights and nights. We can't do it anymore because it's too cold outside, but yeah.
Yeah. Clint, do you want to answer this a little bit too? It looks like you have unmuted yourself.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just wanted to make a quick reference as we enter our, what I would consider fourth season out of the 4 seasons that we experience here in Maine. We do, in fact, take our kids to Sunday River Ski Mountain. It's a big resort in the state of Maine, and it's a fantastic opportunity to learn how to ski or snowboard, or in fact, participate in your skiing and snowboarding if you are already a skier or snowboarder. So that's just one example of how we do take advantage of the environment here in Maine. I mean, we do kayaking trips with our kids. We have opportunities nearby if people want to do horseback riding. I mean, there's just so many opportunities that you can take advantage of if you choose to do that. And we absolutely will encourage and provide transportation even to do this. So, and faculty members join. We have a good time as well.
Yeah, and we do also, for our local day students, we do have the Ambassadors Club, which is local day students that are able to participate in some of these really fun activities that our boarding students participate in as well. So if you are a local student, there is some opportunity for you to join in on some of the fun on the weekends too. So great. Okay, well, we want to be respectful of everyone's time. I don't see any more questions coming through, but I want to thank everybody that did submit a question. I really want to thank Clint Williams, Kelly Hodgman-Burns, and Jung Jae for being with us. I think this was a great introduction into Thornton Academy, and really this idea that at our school, like I think it was Jung Jae that said, we really have this world of opportunity, and that you really can be who you are and become who you want to be. So if you have any more questions, we encourage you to get in touch with us. You can just go to our website and find information. You can also email admissions@thorntonacademy.org. You will get a follow-up email from us tomorrow with a link to this recording in case you want to watch it again. Yeah, so we thank you again for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you on our campus very soon. So thank you, and have a good night or morning.
Thanks,
wherever
everybody.
you are. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, panelists, can you guys stay on for just a hot second? Thank you.